Have Karachi Kings finally got their house in order? Welcome to the shiny side. I'm your host Faris, and we have with us Imran from Bahrain. Imran, Karachi Kings, probably one of the weakest sides in the PSL in terms of performance so far. How do you are you excited about their campaign, or you think it's going to be another disaster?
No, I think they've had few really bad PSLs, especially the last two editions. They really struggled badly. But given all the changes that they've made, I think I would put them in better stead this year. So I think
Yeah.
I'm looking
So like,
forward
I
to seeing
think
how they come
Yeah, so
along.
I think they got Haider Azhar of Multan as GM in a couple of years ago. So I think we've been seeing a clear change of direction because the Karachi squad, normally till about a couple of years ago, the second you would look at all the squads, somehow even before the PSL will start, you could tell that Karachi and Quetta don't have a chance. And we'll come to Quetta later, but Karachi this time around, when you look at the squad, it potentially is one of maybe the strongest squad out there. So I think it's really exciting time for the league because there's a lot of the teams are very similar, but I feel like Karachi is in the last couple of seasons. I think they've had a couple of good auctions. They have some good. You can see the direction they're trying to take the side in. And Heather Azhar has spoken about they really want to build their local core, and that's kind of coming through now. But yeah, they haven't qualified in the last three seasons. By the way, they finished fifth or sixth. They've only played
Yeah.
playoffs in four seasons since in the last 9 years. By the way, and there was a time when Babar was there and Babar was captain, so I think they were doing enough to kind of qualify. They even won a title somehow. That title doesn't feel as good. I mean, a title is a title show because that was the COVID interrupted season, right? So they started. I think Multan was actually quite strong, and then the playoffs happened after 6 month gap. Multan lost a lot of the players, and then Karachi went on to win it.
Mhm.
Uh, so,
Yeah.
but anyway, so that's Karachi. If you look at the performance last time around, the top scorer was Malik, averaged 34, started 120. They've somehow retained him eventually. Uh, Kyron Pollard was again really good for them, but he's not there this time around. James Vince has been quite a regular. He averaged 26. Irfan Khan Niazi, who plays for Pakistan, I think he actually has come through Karachi Kings and he averaged 40 plus. A lot of not outs there, so he did well. Hassan Ali was a top wicket taker with 14 wickets. If you look at the how the teams are shaping up, though, so again, I think I said this before, I'm wrong, but I think if you look at the squad, I feel again. So Warner has come in as captain. There's James Vince. There's Shan Masood, who was captain for the last three seasons. There's Tim Seifert. There's Irfan Niazi, Khusrul Shah. If you look at the reserve, they have Liton Das of Bangladesh. They have Kane Williamson. They have Shoaib Malik. They have Umair Yusuf. And then the all-rounders, they have Khusdil Shah, Shoaib Malik, we count him as one. They have Amir Jamal as well. Uh, they have Arafat Benas, who's a spin bowling all-rounder upcoming. And then in the quick, they have Abbas Afridi, Adam Milner, Hassan Ali, Mir Hamza, Zahir Mahmood is another spinner. So it just looks like a very well-balanced side with potentially all kinds of combinations. Um, the biggest news that came out of the camp was that they announced that David Warner is going to be leading them. And part of the reason, to be honest, I don't love that call, but I don't know who in the top order really has a guaranteed spot in the 11. Shan most certainly does not for me. I don't know if any of Wynn, Seifert, Williamson, any of them will have a sure shot. How do you look at that? The captaincy announcement and who plays
Yeah.
in the top order?
I think an interesting call to go with Warner as captain. I mean, maybe it's a bit of our obsession with the Australian players as
The
that.
Australian
Yes,
Tarak
Warner has
Kamali
gone
is.
exactly maybe over Williamson or Malik as well. In terms of experience. But I think an interesting call. I'd expect Warner. I mean, can't recall much of him as captain of the national series. Well, obviously, as vice captain, he's captained a few times here and there, but
I
don't
mean,
recall anything
I
significant of
think he's
note.
been captaining a bit recently. I think he captained his team to the final of the Big Bash, which they lost this time. But
Yeah,
obviously, he doesn't have the kind of captain's experience even a Sean has, or even a James Vince has, for that matter, for
yeah,
Hampshire and a
yeah.
couple of other counties. Yeah,
Yeah, but obviously, he has the traditional hardcore Australian aggressiveness and all of
and
that. So,
and he is by far the biggest global star in this 15. Like, there's no doubt about that.
and you could argue Kane Williamson, but yeah,
I guess, yeah.
yeah,
But I
but
get the point, right? Because again, I thought, what, James Vince could be a candidate. He plays in the PS. So Warner, my issue with Warner is that he hasn't played the PSL regularly, or never played for that matter.
yeah,
He has barely played
yeah,
any
yeah.
league other than the IPL, and he's never played for
Yeah,
Karachi before.
that's
Never
true.
played the PSL before. Vince is there regularly. He's
So,
quite a veteran on the T20 circuit. He captains his Hampshire and a couple of other sides as well. He just captained the ILT20 as well. So I thought Vince, but I think the problem here, Imran, is that Seifert, Vince, Williamson, with the four foreign player rule, you don't know who's going to play. So I feel like that's how
Yeah,
it ended up with Warner.
I'm just looking at what you have in the screen, and I mean, interesting call that you have both Malik and Williamson in the reserves. So I mean, I would actually be inclined to bring Malik in over Shan Masood, probably maybe. But I
You know
think
what?
given Malik's experience and
Yeah, and
all-round
also like
potential,
given Malik's been the captain of the last 4 years, they may. I feel like they'll start with him, and if he
yeah,
doesn't do so well, they probably will take him out soon.
yeah.
The thing is,
The
Imran,
other question again, yeah,
sorry, one more thing on Malik. His strike rate last time was 110 in the PSL.
hmm,
So
yeah, yeah.
historically, obviously, he's strong, but he's also getting a bit old. So maybe I'm not sure how useful he will be that way.
Yeah. The other question is obviously, I mean, you don't get somebody with the pedigree of Williamson to put him on the bench. So it is a big question as to how you're going to get Williamson into this
Yeah,
11
but again,
with the four
Seifert
players
is a
that you
way
have.
more explosive batsman, right? So it depends on
True, true.
how you line this up. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Do they not have a local wicket keeping option? That's interesting.
They actually do not have a local wicket keeping option, so they have to go with one of
Hmm.
Seifert or Leighton Das.
Yeah.
Uh, this is something which I think I heard their GM talk about in some interview as well. So I think one of Leighton
Yeah.
Das or Seifert has to play, and assuming Warner
Yeah.
has
And
to
Warner
play,
has to play.
yeah.
Yeah. So
If
when you have
if you look at the other
called
end,
up,
right, there is a potential to you can leave out Adam Milne, bring in Mir Hamza potentially, and but then again, feel like using all your foreign players in the top five is not very smart.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
but if
that
you look,
they maybe it's a case of rotating between Williamson
yeah.
and Vince.
Yeah.
And
So again, if you look
that's
at
what
how
it
the
is.
11 shapes up, so they have these top four, which is pretty strong. Irfan Niazi at five, again, gun fielder, upcoming star. I just mentioned his numbers for last year, it's pretty good. Khushbul Shah, I think,
Yeah,
adds really strong balance to the side, right? Because he can obviously bat at six. Uh, his Even though he had a horrid PSL for Multan last time, which is why he was dropped. If you still look at his PSL record, whenever his entry point is 16 overs onwards, he actually has an incredible record. So I feel like again, Heather Azaria, the GM, he's from Multan. I feel like they may know how to utilize him. So I think Khushbul Shah, Irfan Niazi, and
yeah.
Arafat Minhaj is a spinning all-rounder. But so again, the lower order looks pretty strong as well, Imran, doesn't it?
No, definitely a strong lineup, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Hassan Ali, they bat all the way down to Hassan Ali can also
Yeah.
hold
So
up a
again,
bat. So
Abbas
they
Afridi
kind
is
of
one of the best bowlers in the PSL last couple of years, and for
yeah,
Pakistan,
yeah,
in my opinion. And then Abbas
yeah,
Afridi, Hassan Ali can both bat a bit. So Hassan Ali is batting at nine.
exactly.
It gives them a long
That's what I
batting
was saying.
lineup.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're definitely batting deep, and with assuming they play Milne and Hassan Ali and Afridi, it's a
Yeah.
strong pace attack. And then
Yeah.
Zahid Mahmood and Khushtil
So Zahid
Al-Fadl
Mahmood
being the spinning options.
actually had an economy. He played for the Zalmi last time, by the way, but he had an economy of 6.7. So he
Yeah,
actually had a pretty good PSL. So I feel like, yeah, I think, I mean, he doesn't make it to the top three in a test side, but I think he's a pretty good leg-handed, traditional leg spin kind of bowler. And keep in mind, we still have
yeah,
guys like Mir Hamza sitting out, who's a left arm angle, right? So if you want something different, he probably can't as bad as well as Hassan Ali. But and then you have Amir Jamal. So from an all-rounder point of view, if you want to have a seam bowling all-rounder rather than a spin one, you could have Arafat Minas sit out, and Amir Jamal could come in.
yeah, and definitely a lot of depth in the squad. However you look at it, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of marginal calls to make here, but whatever you go with, like, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. True.
you could potentially bring Malik and Williamson into this 11 instead of Masood and
Yeah,
Vince, and it would still be a very, very top, very, very
yeah,
strong top seven.
yeah. It's
So,
the word on Omer Yusuf,
yeah,
right? So Omer bin Yusuf, he's actually been touted as again upcoming batting talent. I think he's 20 or 21 years old. He isn't necessarily the most explosive guy out there, but again, he's somebody I wouldn't mind seeing in the top. So I would even consider. I mean, Malik is there, but I could even consider him instead of Shan Masood maybe at some point. I would like to have a look at him, but let's see how that
yeah,
develops. Uh, but um, but yeah, I guess their top order looks strong. It looks explosive. In terms of who are the guys who could take on spin really well, I think Warner is again being left-handed and can play spin pretty well. I'm
of
not sure if
course,
Shan
yeah,
Masood is, but I think he can play spin well. Again, Williamson and Malik are pretty good players to spin too, by the way. So I feel like
yeah,
if you
definitely,
want to, Seifert likes the ball coming on the bat. A lot of his runs come behind the wicket against high pace. So I feel like if their wickets are slower, then he may not be as effective. And perhaps that's where Leighton Das can come in also. So
Yeah, I
they have
think
options.
so. Warner definitely, like you said, he can sweep, reverse sweep, definitely very strong against spin. Then they have Malik and Williamson, who are both very good against spin. So depending on the conditions and who they're playing in,
Yeah.
there is definitely probably cases for
Yeah.
at
Uh,
different points in time bringing in Malik and Williamson to counter spin.
yeah. And we've done about 10 minutes on the show. We haven't even mentioned Mohammad Nabi. He's also in there. So of Afghanistan.
Oh yeah,
So he's also there. If they need an off-spinning all-rounder, he could potentially play as well. I'm not sure how
yeah,
effective he is nowadays, but he's there as well. Um,
yeah. So, but then probably have to bring him in place of Adam and then.
yeah. Their coach, by the way, is Ravi Bopara, so I'm not sure how that setup will work. He's played for Karachi Kings in the past. I'm not sure what kind of coaching experience he has. But I feel like, honestly, the squad is as strong as anybody else's. I feel like what I'm not sure about is how the captaincy and coach decision will pay off. I feel like as long as that can kind of come off, I feel like they have a really good shot in this PSL.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very strong squad, no doubt about it. I mean, Warner, I think he probably should settle into the captaincy role pretty easily.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't see that being an issue, right? And he has a lot of other senior players to support him around, Malik from the local perspective, Williamson, etc. So he will have a lot of support
Uh-huh.
as well from a lot of
Yeah, I mean,
leadership experience as well.
I mean, I guess if you could, yeah, I think if they can just get the combination, even the structure right? Because there's enough guys there's probably not a backup for everybody. As long as they can get the structure
Yeah.
right and play and people in the right spots, I feel like they have a really good shot. But where would you place them, Imran? Top two, top four, or won't qualify?
No, I think I would definitely top four, more inclined towards top two given the squad.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I would have the same pick. But yeah, let's see. I mean, I think Karachi fans have been so this time around. Karachi also has less games, by the way. So I think we only have 5 games in Karachi, and all the games are featured in Karachi for that matter. So I feel like uh, the crowd really support them, but somehow they've just been like I said. I just feel like every single time you look at the squad, and you know what, they don't have a chance. But this time around, it's looking very different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong squad for sure.
those of you watching, if you have a view on who you think, where you think Karachi could finish, or what could the combination is go with, please leave a comment. And Imran, thank you for being on.
Thank you, Faris. Good to be here.
And we'll be back with some more previews. In the meantime, stay tuned to the shiny side.